Tensions rise. Storms erupt. And we're left to pick up the pieces. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina ravaged through the streets of my hometown. But for like many on the Gulf Coast, there was an aftershock. Just when we thought the flood would subside, the levees broke. Just when we had had enough water, more water. I was stuck in a motel in Metairie. As the water rose again, I wondered what the next few weeks would be like. And I was wrong. Much like a hurricane, racial tensions have stirred again. The last season for this type of storm was the civil rights movement of the 1960s. What a time to be alive. After the floodwaters subsided, we were left to pick up the pieces. Some damage, like fallen trees, is expected. 6 inches of mold resembling moss on my pillow, however, caught me by surprise. In this storm, it is expected that racist symbols will be defaced and torn down. What may surprise some is, along with statues of English slavers and Confederate soldiers, is damage to statues all around the world of Mahatma Gandhi. Yes, that Gandhi. The world is rejecting oppression of all sorts, as seeds of dignity are nourished by these rains of protests. The common theme in this global rejection of Gandhi is rapist and racist, and in red spray paint so that everyone can see. These rapist allegations stem from his experiments with celibacy, in which he tests his own restraint by forcing underage female relatives to sleep naked with him. He admits repeatedly failing, as they remained under his guardianship. Isn't this what we're investigating countless celebrities about right now? The world is correct to demand scrutiny. No sexual predator should be celebrated. This surge of concern fills our streets with empathy-soaked protesters. In South Africa, a statue captures Gandhi as a young lawyer. It was during the early 1900s that Gandhi lived a privileged life in South Africa, brought in by affluent Indians to be a political activist. His activism, however, denied basic dignities to the natives, whom he often referred to with dismissive language and racial slurs. He was openly supportive of whites being the dominating race, and never sought equality with whites, only supremacy over blacks. As an ally to white dominance, he organized over 1,000 Indians as troops for the British during the war. He reached the rank of sergeant major in the British Army, all while denying the humanity of the native blacks. But now, the thirsty bring a flood. From published propaganda to helping to construct apartheid to participation in war, Gandhi did everything he could to make sure that white supremacy flourished. A sea of emotive protesters, however, is now making waves of change. Truth exposes how he felt about blacks and what he would have thought of our civil rights movement. Justice demands that his statue be removed from the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Center in Atlanta. Truth, being told again and again and again, brings rust and tarnish to the image of Gandhi. And anything destroyed by this tsunami of truth very well should be.
Now, statues are low-key a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Statues are very, very symbolic. When you are forever memorialized to the extent of literally your shape and your face is there staring at all times, that means a lot.
But Gandhi wasn't. Let me tell you why. Because when he was a lawyer in South Africa, he said that black people were subhuman and weren't worth fighting for. So Gandhi on that part, not to be disrespectful, but he disrespected black people, and he slept with little girls. He was a child molester. Yes.
And he referred to the Africans as savages. So it's like, I'm with these people. Take the statue down.
Take down that statue.
I am a staunch believer of the African personality and identity and the dignity of Africans. And so, to find such a racist statue on our campus is more insulting than I could have ever imagined, and that I support that statue to be pulled down. If it cannot be pulled down by diplomatic means, in fact, I myself would not find it difficult to rally people behind me to take it down violently, like what happens in South Africa and elsewhere around the world.
And in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Center, there's a peace garden. And in the midst of the garden, there's a statue of political activist Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Understanding that Gandhi had never stepped foot in America, understanding how he felt about blacks and women, understanding that there's no statue of Dr. King or any other civil rights leader associated with his movement at the memorial center that's set aside for him. Let's get rid of the racist statue in the middle and replace it with a more relevant figure.